Okay, good morning in 9. So for today's lesson we're going to do some surface area of a cuboid and possibly the surface area of a triangular prism if we get onto it. So I'm going to just take this video to a corner and then bring up that PowerPoint. Okay, for today's lesson you're going to need a pencil, a ruler, okay, also a rubber in case you make any mistakes. Alright, so here's our title, same title as yesterday, 3D solids, okay, date the 24th of April 20. And what I'd like you to do for your starter is, just here on the screen I've got a cuboid, a 3x4x2 cuboid. And I'd like you to have a go at drawing the net for this cuboid and include the measurements, so right onto the sides of the shape of the net what the measurements are, so 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters and 2 centimeters. Okay, hit pause while you do that and then have a look to see if you've got it right in a moment. Okay, so you should have had something that looks a bit like this. We'll talk through it as well. So I always start off with my base. So I'm thinking about this 3 centimeter by 4 centimeter. And then what I next think of is that I've got a top exactly the same as the bottom. And yes, I have a little gap, and that gap is going to be these side panels. And the measurement of that side panel is a 4x2. And I have another 4x2 on the other side of it. And then of course to complete it, because at the moment this long shape is just going to be that wrap around, to complete it I need the 2 rectangles on the other ends. So I'm going to put a 3x2 on this side and a 3x2. And of course I must finish this with some measurements. So how many measurements do I need? Well, this is 4 centimeters. And that means this line must be 4 centimeters below it, and the line below that, and the line below that, and the line below that. So I don't need to write 4 centimeters on all of them. Now I know that this panel would have been a 4x2 centimeters, so I can write that on, and that means that must be a 2 centimeter panel. I do want to also include it on this panel here. That's also going to be a 2 centimeter length, and this panel is also a 2 centimeter length. And now what's this length here? We're going to call that our 3 centimeter length, and this also is 3 centimeters. So when we're talking about the surface area, we're looking at the area of all of these panels added together. So the base, the side panel, the top and the end panels. So in total for a surface area of a cuboid I'm looking for 6 different measurements. And actually the thing to note is that there are some measurements that are repeated. So this panel here, I'm going to actually just rub out these hash marks to show you this quite clearly. What I'm going to have is this panel 1 is the same area as this panel. These side panels are repeated, and so are these. So actually when I'm doing it, I really just need to work out the area of 1, the area of 2, the area of 3, and then double it. So 1 is going to be a 3x4 centimeter rectangle, which is 12 centimeters squared. The number 2 panels are a 4x2, which is 8, and the third panels are 3 by 2, which is 6. So when I add those together, I get 12 plus 8 is 20, 20 plus 6 is 26. Then I can multiply that by 2, gives me 52 centimetres squared. Okay, please make sure that's copied up into your notebooks. Okay, I'm actually going to just move on. The same question is going to be on the next slide. Okay, so 52 centimetres squared. So we've done one as an example. Let's have a look at B. So now I don't need to draw the net out for this one. I can just do it straight away. But remembering that each panel will be doubled at the end. So first I'm going to think about my base and my top. So I'm going to call that my 1, and if I remember underneath there is another 1. And then I'm going to label this panel here 2, and remembering that at the back it's repeated, and then same for this panel. This is my third panel, it's also repeated, but we just can't see it. So I write down my panels 1, 2, 3, and I think about their measurements. So panel 1 is going to be a 6 by, so that measurement is 6, that measurement is 5, 6 times 5, which I can do straight away, 30. And then panel 2 is going to be a 5 by 4, which gives me 20, and panel 3 is a 6 by 4, which gives me 24. And I add these together, get 30 plus 20 is 50, 60, 74. And then I must remember to times this by 2 so that I get all 6 panels. So 74 times 2, 148 centimetres squared. Don't forget the unit. Okay, and the last example I'll do with you. If you'd like to pause and have a go at this on your own and then watch me do it, absolutely. Okay, so what I need to do again, same thing. I think about my panels, 1 and 1 on the top and the bottom, 2 and 2 on the ends, and 3 and another 3 on this side. So my panels 1s, 2s and 3. So my 1 panel is going to be a 4 by 8, 32. My 2 panel is going to be a 4 by 2, right then there is 2. And my 3rd panel is going to be an 8 by 2, gives me 60. When I add those up, I'm going to get 2 plus 8 is 10, actually that is 40, 50, 56. Then I must remember to multiply by 2, that gives me 112 centimetres squared. Okay, I hope that made sense. Okay, just give yourself some time to copy that into your books if you need more time. And when you're ready, press play for the next slide. Okay, so here are the questions I'd like you to have a go on your own. There are 12 questions. I'd like full working out for all of them and a sketch. In case you've forgotten the best way to sketch a cuboid, I would always start with the end panel. Yours is going to be neater because you're going to be using a ruler. Okay, they can all be the same size when you're sketching them because you're going to label the different measurements. Okay, so just get used to trying to make them look realistic. So remember then, when you've drawn that rectangle, you want 3 lines that are parallel and the same length. Okay, when you've done that, just drawing them up with horizontal and vertical lines. So you get a horizontal line there, and a vertical, whoops, not very vertical, let's try that again, and a vertical line just there. Okay, and when you've done that, you can add your measurements. Okay, so have a go at these questions, hit pause, and when you're ready, hit play again to see the answers. Okay, so can you get your mark pens out, please? Okay, get your mark pens out, and you're looking for the final answer, and don't forget those units. So number 1, 108 centimetres squared. Number 2, 104 centimetres squared. Number 3, 94 centimetres squared. Number 4, 142 centimetres squared. Number 5, 280 centimetres squared. Number 6, 24 metres squared. Number 7, 150 metres squared. Number 8, 96 metres squared. Number 9, 384 metres squared. Number 10, 54 metres squared. Number 11, 184 millimetres squared. And number 12, 340 metres squared. Okay? Okay, so give yourself a mark out of 12. And if you have any corrections, please, now is the time to hit pause and go back and have a look to find your mistake. Okay, it's really important that you do correct your work properly, especially whilst we are remote learning. If there's something you're not really sure about and you're not sure where you've gone wrong, this is the time where you can send me a photo of it, or show me your book in Zoom. I'll be there and we can have a quick chat about what might have happened. Okay, so this is the next task. Read it very carefully. Always think about the panels and the fact that they are doubled on the other side, and have a go at these questions. This activity is what I would like you to then upload onto OneNote. So at the end of the lesson, I should see this task. And I've also added a tab in all of your folders. You must hit refresh. If you do not refresh the page, you will not see the new page that I have added to your folder. Okay, so first thing, hit refresh on OneNote. And for all of these questions, I would like to see a quick sketch of the cuboid. You must show all your lovely working out, and then upload this exercise onto OneNote when you have finished. Okay, so for the last bit for today, we're going to do some work on triangular prisms. So I'd like you to have a title, triangular prisms. You might not be able to see that word exactly because of my video. I'm just going to write it here so I make sure you're spelling it correctly. Okay, triangular prisms. Okay, then can you please copy out this diagram into your books? Always start with the cross-sectional face, this 3x4 triangle, and then draw some parallel lines of the same length, and then finish it off by connecting it with that diagonal line. That slanted line should be the same angle as your 5 centimeter line. So what we're going to do is think about the surface area for a triangular prism. So how many faces does a triangular prism have? Okay, good, that's correct, hopefully. It has one on this slanted side, I'm going to call that 1. I've got this side, in fact I can just directly call that 2, and don't forget I've got the same thing on the other side. And the last 2 sides I have to think about, I can't see, but I do know that they are there. They are the base, where it sits on the table, and then I've got this back side, okay, which is kind of sitting just there. So that's my 4th panel. Let's have a go at working out each of these individual panels. So number 1, what are their dimensions? I've got a 5 centimetre here and a 6 centimetre here. So that is going to be a 5 by 6 rectangle. And I've only got one of those for a triangular prism. So look at the second side. Now, what shape is this? The second side is a triangle, so we must remember to divide by 2 for triangles. So a 3 by 4 rectangle, but it is divided by 2 because it is a triangle. And actually, there are 2 of these. So we can multiply it by 2 at this stage. So 3 times 4 is 12, but if I divide something by 2 and then I multiply it by 2, those 2 operations cancel out. So 3 by 4 divided by 2 times 2 is the same as simply 3 by 4, which is 12. My third base panel, that's going to have the dimensions of 4 and this dimension of 6. So 4 times 6 gives me my 24. And that back panel over here, panel 4, the dimensions are going to be this 3 centimetre for its height and then the length of 6 centimetres. So 3 by 6 is 18. Okay? And then when you've got all the different values, you want to just add this up. Now very carefully, so you don't want to make a slip at the end. So I'm going to do the unit, so 0 plus 2 plus 4, 6 plus 8 is 14. Carry the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my final answer is surface area equals 84 centimetres squared. Okay, so just like the cuboid, we consider all the faces and we label them, and then I work out each face's area. And then when I have those areas, I add them up at the end, and always remember your units. Okay, so for the rest of the lesson, this is your task. I would like you to find the surface area of these 6 triangular prisms. Okay, these have actually been drawn a bit strangely. I'm also just going to add in a line because that might confuse some of you. Just need those baselines there as well. Okay, so these have been drawn transparently. You can continue to draw them opaquely if you prefer. Whatever you prefer is fine. So sketch it. Show the full working out. And then this is another task that I would like you to upload onto OneNote. Some of you might finish it, some of you may not. Okay, but just do what you can and put your answers onto OneNote. I've put a quick extension challenge for those of you that finish quite quickly. I'd also like you to work out the volume. So if you can't remember how to work out the volume of a prism, you may need to look this up. Okay, you definitely did it in Year 8. You may have even talked about it in Year 9 as well. Okay, So when you've completed that, as I've said, please upload it onto OneNote and then you're done. Alright, I will see you on Tuesday for our next lesson.